My name is Mike Brings with Optimal IDM, and in this short video I'm going to show you how the Virtual Identity Server, or VIS as it's known, can be the bridge to the cloud for VISCloudBridge.asf as well as Office 365. In particular, we're going to be focusing on the multi-force scenario of VISCloudBridge and Office 365, which of course is not currently supported. And I'm going to show you how quickly and easily that can be handled by VIS. So let's first take a look at the environment that I have here. I have several AD forests, which are really Atom directories in my given example here because it's difficult to have multiple AD forests on a virtual machine. And I'm set up where I've set up the normal scenario, which is Forest 1 users are users here and set up as contacts in the second forest. So you can see Larry, Oakland, and Mike Brings are set up as user objects here, and they're contacts down in this second forest, the common scenario. Same thing with Gina and Nada, they're contacts here, they're users down here. Now, this would normally be an issue for DirSync in particular, because multiple Larry Oaklands or multiple Mike Bringses would be presented to DirSync ILM. This is handled via custom code, data scrubbing, different things that are done to cleanse the data in the dedicated environment. So this isn't to say that you can't do it just with DirSync or with ILM alone. But what I'm going to show you here is the power of virtual directory plus sync engine, letting each do what they do best. Virtual directories do multi-forest. They do it well. This is what our product has built in particular. We handle things such as the foreign security principles, out of the box, checkbox offering. We handle this user contact join scenario. So this is where marrying the two technologies, letting each one do what they do best is the right answer. So let's take a look at what that looks like through VIS. And you can see here in VIS, I have a Forest 1 users, and here's Larry and Mike. Notice when I click on the contacts, both Forest 1 and Forest 2, they're blank. I've filtered that data out. I don't want to see the contact objects. But I do want to get some of the data off of the object. So Larry's object in particular, if we take a look at him through just Forest 1, notice his title is set to not used. His contact object down in Forest 2, his title is set to this is from contact object. And what I did was configured VIS to join, aggregate, and correlate the data, right, up front of FIM getting it. And I've chosen to get this is from contact object, get his title, which said this is from contact object, from his contact object. And you can see most of the data came from Forest 1 users. That particular attribute's coming from the contact object. So we've already seen we can aggregate, correlate the data, filter the data so we don't have the Forest 1 contacts. All this point and click through the VIS GUI, so wizard interface for the customer. One other scenario that we've covered here, which is really what I'll double phase 2, is I'm also connected up to a SQL database. So looking at this database table, I have Jane Brown and John Smith in the SQL table. And I can actually surface those as LDAP users here as well. We, of course, could connect to other directories such as eDirectory, Sun, taking those users to the BPOS cloud, to the Office 365 cloud, without requiring them to first go to an AD. So right now, we'll really focus more on the multi-forest scenario, but it's nice to know we also have that as an option. So now that we've cleansed, aggregated, correlated it, let's look at it through ILM first. Well, actually, I'll first go into the cloud. Let me go ahead and log in here just so that you can see that there's no users out here. So this is my admin account, and this is a live BPOS account. And if I go to View Users List, Disabled Users, there's no users out there. Same thing if I go to Service Settings, Exchange Online, Distribution Lists, no distribution lists. So clean cloud. Now let's take a look at DirSync. Bring up DirSync. First thing I'm going to do, Metaverse search, nothing out there, 0, 0. Let's go to the management agent and let's go ahead and run that profile. So I've actually cleaned out the connector space as well, Metaverse, up ahead of time. And this is running, so it's calling out to VIS, doing the search. Now, of course, VIS has already aggregated the data, cleansed it, and here we go. 18, so we have the provisioning ads of 18. Let's go ahead and push that out to the cloud. So I'm going to do an export. And the data's actually now calling the normal target web service that DirSync has, and it's actually pushing it to the cloud. One of the things while that's working, I wanted to show one quick thing here around groups. If we look at Larry's object here in Atom directly, notice he's not a member of any group. If I look at him through the virtual directory, he's a member of a couple of groups. One, he's a member of VDG Forest 1 user. So that's actually just a naming standard. I created a dynamic group. So virtual dynamic group Forest 1 users. And you can see that Larry's a member of it, and so is Mike. Looking down here, we can see that Gina is a member of VDG Forest 2 users, and so is Nada. So these dynamic groups are based on which forest they came from, in particular how I created that. So that's pretty interesting of being able to have a dynamic distribution list based on where they came from. So I've actually surfaced that out. Okay, we see success. So it is finished processing, and now we can go here, and I'll jump over to the users first. Go over to View User List, and okay, they actually haven't. Oh, I've got to go over to Disabled Users, and here they have. They have been pushed to the cloud. So we see Gina from Forest 2, Jane and John from VISCloud, Larry and Mike that came from Forest 1, and Nada from Forest 2. And that's just my bind account. So you can see quickly and easily each tool doing what it does best. DirSync, obviously synchronizing, provisioning out to the cloud. The virtual directory, VIS, aggregating, cleansing it, getting it ready. And again, you're doing multi-forest with BPAWS dedicated currently. However, this takes many weeks, 30 weeks to bring a customer online into the dedicated offering. Much of that having to do with cleansing, scrubbing, tagging the data that's going to go, fixing distribution lists. VIS handles all of this out of the box. It's what a virtual directory does. It does multi-forest. That is what VIS is. One of the main key components of what it's built for is to handle multiple forests, multiple directories, and presenting a unified view. It's what a virtual directory does. It's not to say Sync can't handle it alone. It's just very difficult and time-consuming. So let's take a look here and look at Larry Oakland's object and notice his job title. This is from Contact Object. So that it was the title that we asked VIS to surface. So he's out there, and so are any of these other users. They're disabled. They can be enabled and ready for use. Let's go to Service Settings, Exchange Online, Distribution Lists, and here are those groups. So VDG Forest 1 users is that dynamic group surfaced as a distribution list. Larry and Mike are members. If we add a new user out to this forest, out to that Forest 1, next time it runs the sync, these would be surfaced as users here in the distribution list. So you have a dynamic distribution list out in the cloud created from on-premise. Another group that's interesting is taking a look at this VSG Multi-Forest No Trust. Larry was also a member of that. And we take a look here, and we can see users. The interesting thing is Jane is a VISCloud user. Larry's from Forest 1, Gina's from Forest 2. So we can have a distribution list that contains users from multiple data stores. It doesn't matter where they are. And that's a key thing. The virtual directory handles all of that complexity for you. So it does not matter where the data is. It's data anywhere being pushed to the cloud here. We handle the foreign security principle for the groups automatically. So it comes down to when you want to look at Office 365 supporting a multi-forest scenario, you have a choice. And it could be a white paper or a team of consultants going out there and consolidating some customers' forest down to one AD forest. In essence, what's the difference there is it's error prone, right? You're up to these consultants, hopefully reading your white paper correctly, following all of the instructions, making sure that they do everything, and also keeping it in sync, right? Because that's going to have to constantly be running. Hopefully they're using something like Vim to go do that. Or are they? Or are they calling the PowerShell in some custom script where a customer is just out there gunslinging it with the PowerShell scripts, getting it out to the cloud? We think taking VIS and having that as an offering where it's locked down, just like you did with DirSync, providing that wizard interface so that the user can control it, you can control it so that you know people are going through one method rather than opening up help desk tickets all over the place saying that the PowerShell commands aren't working, etc., or incorrectly doing it into an AD forest. Marrying a virtual directory, letting it do what it does best, along with the sync engine, we believe is the right solution. I can be reached at mike.brangs@optimalidm.com, and I hope this short video showed you the power of VIS and what it can do for Office 365. We do have have asked for a beta account, and hopefully when that comes through, we'll be able to show you the complete end-to-end, showing it connecting with Office 365, creating the account, and then doing the login through ADFS, and showing the complete solution. Again, thank you for your time, and I hope this video was helpful.